Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dimon360, and I am returning to give my answers to a Star Wars questionnaire. The reason I'm doing this is my answers have seriously changed. Like, there have been a lot of changes since the original video. And there were some things I overcomplicated and some stuff I didn't go too deep into. So, yeah, these are just my new answers. I'm going to try and explore them a little bit more. My answers for the second one that I created, not yet. They haven't changed all that much. So that's probably not going to get another video. Maybe years down the line, but for the most part, I still agree with that video. This one, I really feel like I can change a few things. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the new answers. And yeah, let's begin. Jedi or Sith? Gray Jedi. I know it says one or the other, but I cannot deny it. I would want to be a gray Jedi. The Jedi and the Sith are so dogmatic, both of them. They're like these extremist groups that have this one viewpoint with nothing else. And for me, I don't exactly share that kind of viewpoint. I have different thinkings. And plus, I feel like a lot of my mentality would go against the Jedi and Sith orders. I would probably let the Jedi Order keep tabs on me just so I didn't have an enemy out of them. And maybe I'd even start out as a Jedi, but kind of like Ahsoka Tano, I probably would have left the Order before knighthood, and I would have, once I learned enough, and I would have traveled the galaxy and try and help as many people as I possibly could, going around the galaxy to civilized planets in like the Outer Rim and trying to figure out stuff so the people can get the help. My mentality on the Force is like a Dooku meets Kyle Katarn. I see past the dogmatic views of the Galactic Republic, and I don't want to be part of that. But at the same time, I am not afraid to use light side or dark side Force abilities. The Force is one big entity. It's not split into two things. It's one big energy field. So I don't think one side or the other of the Force is one thing. I'd rather just embrace the Force as a whole rather than split it up. So again, a Dooku meets Kyle Katarn kind of mentality, kind of away from the Jedi. The reason why I'm not a Sith is because the apprenticeship is cruel and unforgiving. Your Sith master is going to be beating you up and torturing you endlessly. And you're going to be forced to do these dark tasks that I don't really have the mental mind to do. And if you don't do it, you die. And that's just a really scary life to live. And then even if I make the way of the master, it's a slave to your own power and the cruelty. The dark side basically takes over your mind and starts corrupting you. And that's horrifying to think about. Also, there's dark side degradation, which makes me ugly, as if I can get ugly enough. The closest I could even get to being a Sith is like a dark Jedi or an Inquisitor or some Sith acolyte, but I could never truly see myself pledging to those cruel and unforgiving dark ways. I myself would rather use my powers for other people. Sure, I would like to learn and expand my knowledge base, but I would also like to use my abilities to help others. It's just part of who I am. Again, I would probably be a Jedi Sentinel if I was a Jedi, and then I'd move on to a Gray Jedi. Just trying to help the people out as much as I could, because that's really what the Force should be being used as. Not everybody has the Force. And so if we do have it, I think we should use it right. Question 2. Favorite world? I've always liked Manan, despite how boring it is in KOTOR. I love the music, and I love like the civilization and the setting, and I don't know, it would really be a cool place to live, like the city planet in the middle of the ocean that goes like underground and underwater. Plus, I love the Soulcath as a species. So, again, as boring as it is in Knights of the Old Republic, again, it's a beautiful, beautiful planet. So awesome. I also really like Kashyyyk because of the really big trees and the mountains, and because I gotta be ready for the droid attack on the Wookiees. Gotta be ready for that droid attack on the Wookiees, guys. But again, like, yeah, it's just a really beautiful planet with a lot of really cool landscape. So, I also liked Alderaan before it got blown up. Again, I like its tall mountains and its really nice looking plains and everything. And then it has like the royal cities inside. I think it's really, really beautiful for a planet. And again, I wouldn't mind living on Alderaan as well before it got blown up. There's also Nar Shaddaa. It's where all Smuggler's Moon. It's all city and gangster. I probably wouldn't live on Nar Shaddaa. I'd probably like visit. Again, if I were a Grey Jedi, I'd probably find myself helping a few dozen people every time I came here. But like, it would be nice to visit. Question 3. Lightsaber type, color, and fighting style. I would wield conjoining lightsabers. 2 single-bladed lightsabers that conjoin at the hilt to make a saber staff. I'd probably use a single-bladed lightsaber the most of the time, but I would not be unwilling to draw that second lightsaber and then go into saber staff mode and go crazy. I would also probably do Jar-Kai more than the saber staff, but whatever. As for my lightsaber color, I'd probably go for cyan because the canonical answer for what cyan lightsabers are, they're for Force users who they don't actively seek out combat, but they're like Jedi Guardians, like with blue, but they don't seek out combat. And I think that's really kind of in my mentality, is that I don't seek out combat, but when it comes, I'm ready to draw out the lightsaber and start hacking away. So I feel like cyan like really like fits my personality. But if I could get one of those orange lightsaber crystals like Cal Kestis, I'll take the whole stock. I want them orange lightsabers. Those just look awesome. I actually have an orange lightsaber myself. Yeah, I'd probably go for either cyan or orange or both. As for my fighting style, I would probably be a Shien/Djemso fighter as the backbone of my style. However, as I'm not a very physically strong opponent, I'd probably use it in the same variant as Plo Koon. More defensive and more technical rather than overpowering strength hits, as I'm not a very physically overpowering combatant. I'm much more dexterity based. For this, I would use Djemso as the backbone, and I would implement Form 2 Makashi to enhance my dueling capabilities, as well as my precision and my elegance. I would also implement Sarisu to basically make my defensive viability as good as possible, as I'm going to need to be defensive if I'm going to survive. And I would also add Nyman as a supplement to allow myself to train in Jar-Kai, the Saber Staff, and to implement Force abilities into my lightsaber combat much more easily, much more frequently. So I wouldn't be dedicated to Nyman, but I'd use it as a supplement, kind of like Anakin Skywalker. So, as you can see, I made my lightsaber style not more complicated. And yes, I would also probably train in Jar-Kai dual blade fencing, and maybe I'd train in like Terras Kasi or something just to back myself up. If I could give a description for how my fighting style would look, think a mixture between Plo Koon and Shakti. I'd have the defensive, heavy strikes of Plo with the quick kind of hit-and-run attacks of Shakti. Very precise, defensive, energy efficient, and coupled in with like the force attacks. And then plus the second lightsaber. So that would be my fighting style. Question 4. Favorite species. I've always liked the Chiss because Thrawn. But they're just so interesting. They're just so mysterious and elusive and so intelligent that it's really my mind-blowing. So, there's also the Yuzhang Vong. They're just awesome. Their religion, their use of organic weapons, they're lightsaber resistant, they're force resistant. They were such a great addition to Star Wars. I will fight you on that if you disagree. They were so cool. They're so terrifying as well. And by that standard, the Anzadi, they are a crazy, wild species. They're kind of horrifying, plus Volfe Carco is one. And then there's also the Nautolans. They're cool too. Kit Fisto's a Nautolan, and I don't know. I really like how they can be amphibious, but they can also be ground people. Favorite vehicle, the Ebon Hawk. It's such a great ship. It's homely, so I'm not just stuck in my cockpit the whole time. I can walk around, I can kind of make myself at home. And if I'm going to be traveling the galaxy a lot, I might need a ship like that. Another one would be the Ghost. I mean, the same reasons as the Ebon Hawk. I mean, it's very roomly, homely. You can walk around, and plus it's also very effective for cargo transporting and combat purposes. And then, of course, Millennium Falcon. Again, same reasons as the Ebon Hawk or the Ghost or their model of ship. Again, homely, good in combat, good in cargo. So, there you go. If I were a Jedi, which master would I choose? Mara Jade Skywalker. The reason I would choose Mara Jade as my master is because she's a really independent master. She can be that mother aunt-like figure when she needs to be, but for the most part, if she really teaches you a lot of independence. She lets her students like Jaina have a lot of independence, as well as she can teach me alternative forms of combat like blasters, unarmed combat grenades, stealth. So, another idea is Dooku while he was still a Jedi. Again, as I have a very similar mentality to Dooku, well, before he became a psychotic Sith Lord. But, yeah, I think he would be really good to share beliefs on. As I agree with him and Qui-Gon about their beliefs of the Republic and everything, and the Council, but I don't like Qui-Gon's, monkness. Another idea would be Kyle Katarn, again, for the light and dark side force abilities, plus to help me really get that lightsaber combat going. I think he would be a really good choice to have, especially if you want to learn lightsaber combat. And he can teach you those force abilities. Look how Jaden Core came out. Another one would be Jason Solo, before he became Kaitis. Again, he's really good at debating about the Force. I don't agree with his ideals as much, but he is still a good master. He's still very wise, and he went around the galaxy learning from all those different Force users. I could learn some good tricks out of him. And then there's also Plo Koon. He's a stern but kind Jedi Master. He's really good with the blade. As I already said, I'd use his variant of Gemso, so I could learn a bit out of him. He's really like a good father figure for a Padawan to have. I mean, again, look how Boltor Swan came out. Look how Ahsoka Tano came out. Am I right? Who would my Sith Master be if I was allowed to choose? A lot of people say Darth Plagueis, and for good reason. I can totally see why you would do Plagueis, but I'm going to spice it up a bit. I'm going to pull out a few more candidates besides Plagueis to kind of spice up the material. Again, Plagueis has been said so many goddamn times, so I'm not even going to give a reason for why Plagueis. He's a very trusting Sith Master, and plus you could live for eternity. Boom, the end. But, how about Darth Bane? Think about it. Bane refuses he didn't torture Zana, as he wanted Zana to learn from him, but not hate him. He wanted her to be willing to learn from him. You just learn all your dark side techniques, get powerful enough to kill him, and then you're the Sith Master. You can do what you want with the Sith Order at this point. You just kill Bane, it's like, yep, I'm gonna just quit the Sith Order now, and the Sith are gone. The end. Plus, Bane is very scholarly, and he can teach a lot of combat. He can teach lightsaber combat. He can teach you a lot about the dark side of the Force. He's very scholarly. He'd be a very good choice. Another choice is Darth Jadis from Star Wars The Old Republic. I like how he's, unlike the most of his other Sith, he's an anti-alien guy. He's very open-minded. He's very, cold and calculating and knowledgeable. And plus, he can use the Force to teleport. So, having that trick up your sleeve would be pretty cool. Learning from a Dark Council member who's not just a psychotic, bloodthirsty maniac would also be pretty cool. Another choice is Darth Warlock III from Legacy. Again, unlike Darth Krayt, who just mind dominates you, Warlock really treats his followers like Sith Lords. He's really a typical Sith master, and he's like, where are your loyalties? Okay, fair enough. If they're not with me, that's okay. He's a very fair, very honorable Sith Lord, and he does show some compassion. There's also Darth Thanaton from SWTOR. Yes, he's a little more psychotic with the traditions and everything, but just basically yes him to death, and you won't get killed by all his followers. Just try not to tick him off, or he'll send literally everyone after you. But apart from that, he might be a pretty good Sith master. Sure. And then lastly, we have Darth Vectivus. Vectivus is the Sith Lord who did no evil. Again, if I was a Sith Lord, I'd probably want to be like Vectivus. Try and do no evil. Just follow the Sith code, but don't be a bad guy. So I think Vectivus would be a really good choice. What would my Darth name be? Darth Ernest. Kind of like Ernest. I would be a very earnest Sith Lord. I would be studying the dark side, learning what I could from my Sith master, being a very studious Sith Lord. Plus, Ernest just sounds so cool. Favorite Star Wars film? Revenge of the Sith. It's not the best Star Wars movie, but it's the most enjoyable. For me, I love the performances, I love the action, and I love the tragedy of Anakin becoming Vader. I think it's a really good story. And again, the score is just off the walls. And plus the world building that's been built on this era and this movie is just beautiful. Least favorite film? The Last Jedi. Literally everyone saw this coming. Yeah, I don't like this film. I'm honestly not even going to go into an explanation because you can just find one of my other videos where I bash it. So, there you go. If you could write a Star Wars novel, what would it be about? Guess what? I already am writing a Star Wars novel. So you know the High Republic that with the billboard or the whiteboard, there's diversity over character development. So it's like the High Republic, we're exploring the Jedi Order and all their different members. However, we're not doing it in a really dumb time span, 200 years before the prequels. We aren't doing dumb stuff like that. We are doing it during the era of Darth Ruin, the new Sith Wars. This way we can explore the Jedi and the Sith's mentalities and still explore new characters, but we can also really explore history. Let's take a look at Darth Ruin. He should be a very famous Sith Lord. Let's look into his mentality, his fate. And then let's see his Sith Order lead into the Brotherhood of Darkness. How did he recreate the Sith? How did it turn into the Brotherhood of Darkness? I want to know this stuff. Favorite soundtrack? Revenge of the Sith. And if you don't know why, go listen to the Revenge of the Sith soundtrack if you've never heard it. It is an orchestral masterpiece. It is beautiful. It's tragic. It's exciting. It's horrifying. It's beautiful music. Go listen to it. What is the best thing about the EU? The creative storytelling. The creative adventures with the Yu Zhang Vong. No one would have been able to figure that out. But the EU did it. Also, making characters really obscure characters, making them awesome. Look at Plagueis. In the movies, he's just this legendary Sith, this ancient legend, and then his book comes out, and he's made into one of the most compelling and cool Star Wars characters ever. Look at Quinlan Vos before TCW. He was a background character, and then he became awesome. He had that struggle with the dark side and everything. It's the worst thing about the EU. Too many people working in the same era. Why does everyone want to do the Clone Wars? I mean, I love both series. I love both the multimedia and the series, and I try and balance between them. I try and balance and choose, but it's only 3 years. I wish it was longer. I think it would have been smarter to make the Clone Wars longer. But yeah, you can't do this much stuff in 3 years. And that really hampers both projects down for me, so there's that. What does Star Wars mean to you? Oh, this is really hard to put into words. The fictional franchise I can escape my horrifying, depressing reality from, probably. Yeah. The imagination, the creativity is all there. We can basically be anything we want. We can explore with these new adventures and have these stories with these characters. And along the way, maybe we can find a character we relate to. And then we can root for them in the end. Plus, we can get away from real life until The Last Jedi came out. Yeah, that's really my opinion on Star Wars. It's like a whole new world. A new adventure awaits. Let's get on with it. And those were my new answers to a Star Wars questionnaire. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you wish, but do not feel obliged. You are not forced, but I would like it if you did it. But it's fine. As always, I hope you stay safe. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.